Hello everybody, I am Khalil, a Webflow developer specialist, and today in this video you will learn how to become a Webflow expert. Webflow has changed a lot in the past year particularly, and now we are in an exponential adoption phase. Webflow is not a classical website builder, this is a visual development tool for the front-end part of the website. I will explain to you the exact journey to learn Webflow and have the best skills for free and have future-proof competencies. Let's start and see together what it's about. To learn everything I'll show you will take you several months, but there are steps to feel clear advancements. Overall, it's quick wins and few time to have a strong set of skills that need years to learn in the past. So this is very worth to learn Webflow today, and this is really an efficient journey that I will show you right now. So the first thing is to start with the Webflow University. If you don't know Webflow, and I assure you that even if you just know some tricks with Webflow, you have used it once, just do all the course of the Webflow University. This is the really first step to do. You have 4 courses, okay? You have the 21-day design portfolio course. The most recent is the landing page generator for Ryan Reynolds. The Figma to Webflow, you will learn a little bit of 3D and special things. You will learn a little bit about Figma too. And you have the Webflow 101 crash course. That is very good to be quick in Webflow. But I really suggest you to do all the courses here. If you have the faith, and I think it's better to do it, is to see to the lessons of Webflow. Okay, so you have lessons and you have other courses. Here you have Webflow e-commerce, you have SEO fundamentals. If you don't know SEO, you have a lot of little things, but the most important are the 4 courses here. This is the very first thing to do. The second part is to learn a system that is created by Finsweet. And this is the client-first system by Finsweet. This is more and more used and asked by clients and agencies to know this, because it will make you able to build agile and scalable websites. Okay, this is following the best practices for website building, okay, with the HTML and CSS particularly. So it permits everyone to have the same base, the same naming conventions, because this is very important in Webflow. In development in general, you have like what we call class name, okay, on the right here. This is something very important to have everyone on this, okay, because it will permit other designers to handle your work, to go inside your work, know how to read your work. But beyond that, because we are a lot talking about this is talking about the core structure of the web. So this is not a general example for development, okay? This is very specific for Webflow, but it's following the core structure and rules of HTML and basic development, okay? So the structure with you can see on the left, for example, with the main wrapper and the sections, and you will see deeper that the sections has to have what we call tags that are very important. This is why you can't ignore this, and this is the second thing to learn with Webflow. For Webflow, they have an amazing little journey and learning path to learn. Just let me, this is, so you have a lot of languages. This is recent: French, Tagalog, Polish, Vietnamese, German, but I highly recommend you to learn it in English. This is good to have it accessible for more people, but I think English is just the world convention for technical languages. So in Docs, you can go into getting started, okay? So you have here the learning path, okay? This is 7-day schedule to learn client first, okay? So don't read everything at once. It will be overwhelming. Just do this, the learning path, and through your journey with Webflow, when you build websites, you will come back to the doc and have it all the time with you and read things, because when you have read the client first once, it will be a lot easier for the next readings. It will be because you will understand everything better. So the flow will be just easy. The third thing you have to do is to build Webflow websites and how to have design ready. So you can do your own design with Figma if you want to practice, but if you want to do only development with Webflow, I highly suggest you to find Figma templates. There is Figma templates for free for websites. You can find it across the web. I will not give you websites for it because it is important you find your own sources to build this for your portfolio too. And when you have those Figma templates that you will find for free, or you can pay some if you want, if you have the money, build it with the client first system. This is how you will train to use the client first system, because it's not easy. And once you start learning the client first system, you will always build website with this system. Some agencies use slightly different systems, but the foundations of this system are exactly the same. Okay, this is just the naming convention that can be a little bit different, but you have to train with the client first system. And if you don't have clients for now, the best way, and this is what I am doing personally, this is to find free Figma templates of websites and build it into Webflow. With that, I can experiment with my process to build websites. I will do a video about the process to build properly in Webflow from A to Z. This is how you will practice with the client first system and in a very fast manner. So the fourth point, the fourth thing you have to do to learn Webflow is to explore the libraries and the component system. Webflow comes with components. That is something we know in the development world in general, but in Webflow this is very important. This is entire sections of websites that you can just copy paste and reuse through your website. Okay, so it's useful for clients to scale their websites, reuse elements, etc. And this is very powerful because you can just copy paste entire elements. So you can train with those libraries. Those libraries are almost always built on the client first system. For the Realm library, it's sure. For the Flow-based library, it's sure. And 99% of other libraries on the Webflow websites are using this system. So first you have the Realm library. This is the basic one. Some people, clients or agencies asked if people know how to use it. This will accelerate a lot your builds, okay, to know it. So you have to pay for it. You have free parts as well. You have the flow-based components too that you can use. And you have, of course, on the Webflow websites, so flow.com/libraries, you have for now those libraries. It's a lot of components. I suggest to use, if you build a website, one library at a time, because they use a different naming convention, so it duplicates classes and it's not good. But you have to experiment, see how it works, what styles they have, because maybe the Realm it's too flat, the flow base does not correspond, and so you will find more one here that correspond to your base design. So just train with it. Okay, so the fifth thing to learn for becoming a Webflow professional, and this is something very important, is to know how attributes works in Webflow. This is systems Finsweet and Refocus use to simplify the use of things that we have to do with code normally, but with attributes, this is very, very simple. You just have one line of code, and after this is the attribute system in Webflow. that you will learn in the point number 1, of course, what is a flow attribute. So you have this library. This is very useful. You have a ton of things for you to see and explore, okay? So just learn how to use attributes. This is very simple, how to implement it in your website. Know the capacities of the attributes, okay? So when someone is asking you for something, you know, okay, I can do it with attributes, I don't need code, and you can think the best way to do the thing, okay? And you know this is possible or this is not possible in different ways, okay? This is very important to know what Webflow is capable of with the tools you have. You have to be conscious of the capacities of your tools. You have to be a power user, and you will be able to give tips and coach your client about what maybe they need, what we can do with Webflow, what we cannot do with Webflow, the work you will have, the workload you will have with what is asking for the website. So you have attributes by Finsweet, and you have the refocus tools. That is exactly the same. This works with attributes, okay? So you have a bunch of things with the CMS. The CMS PrevNext is very, very useful. It works perfectly. I used it with the refocus tools. Point 6. The point 6 is very important because you will have tons of demand for special sliders that you cannot build in Webflow natively. So you have to know the Swiper API. This is very simple to use. You can find videos to explain how it works. You have to know how to play with it to be ready when clients will ask you something a little bit more difficult in design. So knowing Swiper API is very, very important. You have other slider API to build beautiful sliders and more complex sliders. This is the one to know with Webflow. We have the point 7. Once you have learned how Webflow works, this is very good. This is very cool to play with Webflow. But as I said at the beginning, Webflow is a visual development tool. So to go beyond the capacities of Webflow and to have no limits in your workflow and your capabilities, today, if you want to be on the top, to differentiate yourself, you have to go deeper in the knowledge and become an expert, okay? So Webflow, this is a very good entry into the development world, okay? This is how I learned the basics of coding. This is by Webflow. I never imagined to code, but as it is very visual and creative, this slowly brings me to development, okay? And for Webflow, if you want to differentiate yourself, again, I'm repeating myself, but this is very important because you can very easily become a Webflow builder, but to be a Webflow developer, a creative developer and go very professional, you have to know how to code, and this is very easy. HTML and CSS, this is very, very easy, and with Webflow you will understand it very easily. So for me, the best courses about it, this is the Open Classrooms. This is a French courses, but they are now in English. So you can do the HTML and CSS one. This is only 10 hours. This is very practical. You will build with them, okay? This is years and years they are doing it, and this is a super sharp learning. So start to know more deeply how HTML and CSS works, okay? Once you have a better understanding of HTML and CSS, go with vanilla JavaScript. This is so important because you will understand how GSAP are working and all of stuff on top of vanilla JavaScript. But don't go directly to learn GSAP, 3JS and things like this. Learn the basics of JavaScript first. You have this course, okay, this is 15 hours. This is very practical. You have exercises, okay? And you have another one to complete the Open Classrooms ones. This is free, okay? All I'll show you right now is for free, okay? All the CSS and the Odin project, this is a super project with only practical exercises, so you will just practice, okay? So you have the HTML and CSS, advanced HTML and CSS to do, and the JavaScript to do. You can do, of course, maybe databases if you're interested, and Node.js. Node.js is very good to know, but HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, this is the next step for your Webflow learning and become an expert. This is free, this is not taking so much time, and you will just go from there to there as a Webflow developer. And this is skills that are future-proof, okay? This is very important, and maybe if one day all the Webflow developers, or I don't know, the basic developers are just blown away by technology, you have a base, and from that base you can learn complex code and you are future proof, okay? This is very important. The point 8, this is an important one too. All the points are important, okay? In this video, we can't discuss about it. Every single point are important. The order is important too. Why it comes after the code? Because I think learn the basics of coding is more important than the tools right now. But the tools right now are very important to know they exist. Okay, this is the minimum. And then once you touch a bit of JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, you can go learn those tools, okay? Because I really think in the near future, an amazing amount of companies will use those tools, okay? That are on top of Webflow. So those tools are Wised. What is Wised? Wised made the connection between your back end and your front end, okay? It grabs information to put it in your front end and reverse, okay? So this is a communication tools between the front end and databases, okay? For now, you can, and I think you have the time to learn everything before, to learn Wised, because Wised will release the 2.0 version this year. So you don't have to run on Wised, but right now they are doing good videos on the Finsweet channel about Wised. So this is a tool that is very, very important to learn, okay? I'm not talking in this video about logic and members and the membership of Webflow, that is native Webflow tools, because they are in beta and they are a little bit different. The purpose is a little bit different, okay? So Wised is different from Logic, okay, and membership Webflow is different from MemberStack. So once you have learned to code, go on Wised, then go on Xano. Xano is a no-code backend tool, okay. This is like new. We start to talk a lot more about it. There is like a hype today. The date I'm releasing the video, it just started to become more famous. I think maybe because they just raised 5 million as a startup. So yes, the combo Webflow, Wised, and Xano, this is for me a future-proof skills right now for web designers, because this is a visual tool for backend, okay? This is just the traduction of code in the backend on a visual dashboard, okay? So it can let you build very complex things, okay? This is not just another no-code tool, okay? This is really translating code visually as Wised do, okay? So the combo, so I think we will start to see a real full stack developer thanks to those tools, Wised, Xano, and Webflow. Because full stack designers, maybe I will have enemies, but this is a myth, okay? There is any full stack developer, okay? All developers are specialists of something, okay? Because there is tons and tons of tools just in JavaScript, just in other area of code. You have tons of possibilities, okay? So it doesn't exist. It's a full stack of what, okay? But right now, we will see developers that can do a really good backend, really good communication between the backend and the front end, and a very good front end, okay? The other tools with Webflow to learn are the traduction tools, because Webflow for now it will be the case, I think, this year. But for now, you have Polyflow and Wiglot. This is tools. Just build a website for fun using Webflow, Wiglot, and Polyflow. This is two different tools. Just know the difference. As I told you, you have to know the possibilities and the limitations. This is the two big tools for traductions with Webflow for now. So just keep it under your belt. And MemberStack is now the version 2. So you can go inside MemberStack. This is a very powerful tool, very simple tool, but you have to know how to use it. This is very important. The other tool, this is Make. I can show you other tools like Zapier, Nate, 8N. You have a lot of automations tools. I think know how to use it and connect with Webflow. This is very good and knowledge. Okay, so now the bonus point. Okay, so if you want to invest in your learning path, all I showed you before, everything is free. Okay, you can learn for free and you don't have to find more. Okay, it's quiet enough what I've shown you before to learn Webflow and being very, very efficient, have high skills and be one of the best. Okay, I'll show you the best paid courses for me to improve your Webflow skills and coding skills. So on the awards website, I suggest you this course, okay? Building an immersive creative website from scratch without frameworks, because this is a course that learns you from scratch how to build an award-winning website. Not with Webflow, from scratch, only with code, but you will learn a lot about animation in JavaScript. You will learn how to build a boilerplate in your GitHub, using Node.js, and things like this that will a lot improve your skills. This is the best course on the platform. The courses of Georgi Nikolov about JavaScript are very, very nice. All the courses he has, but I think this one is good to start. Okay, and this is the ones I suggest. Okay, you can find other courses that are very interesting, but if you want to buy just one or two, this is those courses here. Okay, and after it's just bonuses if you want to invest more. You can see here, actually, when I'm releasing the videos, there is 75% off. Okay, there is all the year pricing like this, so just wait the next pricing like this to buy if you don't have it for now. And overall it's cheap courses, okay, but very high quality for those two. This one too, and some other courses with JavaScript are very interesting here. You have the Timothy Ricks Patreon. Okay, this is someone you have to follow in the Webflow universe because he brings a lot about custom code into Webflow and practice about responsiveness. So you have his Patreon. This is very worth the amount. Okay, if you want to invest in, you have more than 100 exclusive posts to learn a special code for Webflow. Okay, you will learning everything about Webflow, coding, GSAP, animations, very specific things. Okay, this is very, very interesting. And if you have a little bit more cash, you can go with the eyes closed on the Webflow masterclass from the Flux Academy. I'm certified from their courses, so I bought this course. This is not affiliate or whatever. This is just an amazing course. Okay, this is updating regularly, so you have 3 different versions of the course. The last version is very, very nice because you go a little bit beyond Webflow, and this is very quality courses. So if you are interested into Webflow and you want to invest in your learning, you can have the course of Webflow. Okay, this is it for the learning path. I hope you enjoyed the video. To resume it, first point you have to do is the course of the Webflow University. Then you will learn the client first system from Finsweet. Okay. The third part, remember, it's to practice with free Figma templates. Okay, this is very important. Find free Figma templates or paid ones. and just learn and practice the client-first system with Webflow. The point number 4 is to learn libraries. So you have the Realm library and a Realm components, the flow-based components and the libraries into Webflow. So learn and explore them. You have the point 5 is to learn the attribute system with Webflow by Finsweet and Refocus. Okay, the point 6, it is to build sliders and custom sliders with code with the Swiper API. Okay, you have all the documentation. This is very easy. The point number 7 is to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, you have the Open Classrooms courses and the Odin project. The point 8 is to learn Wist, learn Xano, learn Polyflow and Wiglot, member stack, and automations tools like Make. And the bonus point is about paid course. So you have awards, you have the Timothy Ricks Patreon, and you have the Flux Academy courses. Now you have everything, literally everything for free to learn Webflow and becoming an expert at Webflow. So this video is part of a series of Webflow video. To not miss a future release, subscribe to the channel, and all the links are in the description. Like and comment, it's free and help a lot for the channel's growth. And I say you bye bye.